Enough is enough, folks. It's barely May 2021, and all over the media across the country are cases of officers and prison staff having sex with inmates like there's no tomorrow. It's just crazy. And I'm seeing some sentences that are not very strong, not enough to deter these people. Now, I did see one case where an officer got 10 months jail and then 10 years probation to follow. That's not too bad, but some of them are only getting a short jail sentence, a short probation sentence. This is a criminal act. For example, this so-called sheriff's deputy in Wichita, Kansas, Sedgwick County Sheriff's Deputy, arrested for unlawful sexual relations with an inmate. They have determined that on 8 occasions he has met with the inmate for some type of sexual relations, fondling, sex, whatever. The sheriff said that he has been arrested and he is charged with 8 counts of unlawful sexual relations with an inmate. Now, here's the kicker. The sheriff said there is no change in training new officers. That is a little disturbing to me. They tell them not to do it, not to bring contraband to inmates, and don't have sex with inmates. Don't do that now, okay? And then they have to deal with these type of officers. Now, I am one that has always preached, don't just tell them not to do it, show them. Like I'm showing here on this video, show them what happens when they have sex with inmates and they get their picture plastered all over the media. Show them that they're going to be arrested and put in jail. And we need the courts to show them, and we need to push harder for longer sentences for people who have sex with inmates. Say no to sex with inmates. This is ridiculous. We barely started the year and we're already back on track to either beat last year or compete with last year. It's ridiculous. The sheriff said they're 80 positions down. They had 100 applications come in, but only 14 were qualified. So that's good. Apparently they're doing some good work trying to get only the qualified people, but even some of the qualified people are slipping through the cracks. The sheriff said there's no excuse for this crime, and they will continue to catch these officers who have sex with inmates and arrest them and charge them criminally, which is good. But I think the part where he says there's no change in training, when you're having this much of a problem with staff having sex with inmates, I think that the training needs to be looked at. Will that help? Some cases it might. It might scare somebody enough to not do it. But then again, folks, some of you are probably saying, heck, if they're going to do that, they're going to do it anyway, no matter how much you train them or tell them not to. That could be, let's give the benefit of the doubt, that could be what the sheriff is thinking. You know, you're an adult, you know right from wrong. We tell you don't have sex with inmates, and you still go have sex with inmates. So, you know, maybe I'm a little harsh on the part about the training, but I think it should at least be in there for this reason. The harder you train on ethics and inmate manipulation and things of this nature, at least you have the paperwork to show you trained these dirtbags who have sex with inmates, and it's not the agency's fault that they still go ahead and do it. So I would want to train just to have that paperwork in my files that I'm trying my best to not have officers that come in here and have sexual relations. So this officer is busted. We also had 2 federal females work for the federal prison system get busted recently. We also had 2 GEO officers busted, a 50-year-old and a 30-year-old, for having sex with inmates. Their defense attorney for those females, for the GEO females, said they're going to plead guilty and beg the court not to put them in prison, just give them some supervision. They feel terrible about what they did, and they're showing remorse, Your Honor. Come on. While you're banging the inmate, you're sure not feeling any remorse then, are you? But now you're caught, and you just feel so terrible for what you did, having sex with these inmates. It's just sickening, and it's really tainting the image of our prison system, you know, and jails. I mean, we've got to do something more. So I say, let's set the example of everyone that's caught and shoot for prison. Let's get with our state attorneys and say, somebody has sex with an inmate, don't just let them off with county probation or felony probation or 80-day jail sentence followed by a year probation. Man, let's slam them. Let's put them in prison for a little bit. They want to be with the inmates anyway. Lock their ass up in the prison and put them in there, and they can have sex with whoever they want when they get into prison, you know? But they'll be wearing an inmate uniform. I know I'm getting a little excited, but this is sickening. This is just sickening, and it's very hard to understand why anybody would degrade themselves in this manner. You know, do they think that there's true love coming from behind these bars? This is just a captive audience, a sexual fantasy behind bars. And if you think for 1 minute that when the inmates get out, they're going to love you forever and ever and take care of you, you're crazy. Anyway, I've ranted on enough. Enough of this. Say no to sex with inmates. Report suspicious activity if you have fellow officers or you see prison staff members that are becoming too friendly with the inmates. Report them. Let's get rid of them. Thanks a lot. This is Gary York, True Prison Stories. Have a great day.